They were negligent. I feel like somebody should have made a better judgment call. Someone should have followed their first mind and said, hey, you know what? A, B, C, D.
I also think like we should talk about what like the because I think why I'm low key obsessed with this topic, but not like in an unhealthy way. But I just want to get to the bottom of this. But I think part of it is like why why are I feel like we are so woke as a generation, like as a society right now. Like we see them playing in our face. Like we see people becoming billionaires, and it doesn't make sense because the most of us can't barely afford the bills that we have, and it's like a billionaire. All you have to do is sprinkle a little bit of what you have, and you could cure poverty. You could cure world hunger like really easily, and so like I'm wondering like why like are we just like I feel like we are just allowing them to keep doing like this to us. Like what is it gonna take for they're playing in our face. Let's think, okay, why are they doing these rituals? To be rich so they can live forever, enjoy their money forever. Okay, and then we're allowed, but I feel like there has to be a way for us to stop this. Like I just don't feel like this is it. And I'm like this. I mean, this has to be the last straw. I mean, it is for me, but I'm wondering like, is it for everybody else? Because like, how much playing in our face are they gonna keep doing?
I feel like people idolize celebrities way too much, and like it does get toxic based on what people listen to and what they deal with every day. And then, like when it come down to music, people just tend to think of it as like that's just the world, like that's reality, but it's not. And people fiend for that and want that so much, so then they tend to act like it and look like it and pretend. And that's when the cap come in, and that's when the selling the soul come in, because people just doing shit that they don't do just to either get money or try to look a certain way or be a certain way. It's just fucked up. Like you just can't be of it. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta work around it. Like it's gonna be there, but you can't be of it. And I feel like a lot of people just of it.
And I think one thing that is very common amongst the kids that attend these concerts, especially from the interviews, from the documentaries, is that they keep on saying, he saved like my life. He saved my life. I was in a dark place and he encouraged me. He saved my life. And these are like repeated things that these kids say. So that ends up like having more like them idolizing him in a way, which can be very dangerous as well.
Like, what do you guys think it would take to help kids and people in general not idolize these people anymore?
Well,
Space.
we just have to create make education entertaining for kids. You understand what I'm saying? Where to teach them about history, about who they are, where they came from. You know, we live in a society where negativity sells. You know what I'm saying? And these entertainers on a negative frequency. They get paid to be negative. They get paid to cast souls. You have to understand the message that they're putting out there. The type of celebrities we have today, you would never have those type of celebrities 20 years ago. It
No,
wasn't in
we
your
had
face like
those.
that.
We
You
had
understand what I'm
those.
saying? Like I'm
Nah,
We
that
listening
had
to his
was
those.
real
music.
music back then.
Not
Well,
today,
exactly. I'm
You
listening
Chris.
to his music,
you
some of the lyrics these cats
mm,
are saying, and I'm like,
we had
it's got
you
to,
you
it's
you're
got to be
ignoring
the
you're
devil
ignoring
These
the rock
that's
niggas,
scene.
making
these
it.
niggas rap
You know what I'm
capping.
saying?
They rap
You're
Because
capping.
ignoring
Wait, one
mm,
mic, y'all.
right, what I'm saying is there's a
you're totally ignoring the rock scene. The rock scene's been doing devil worshiping. They've been putting satanic lyrics on records so you can spin them shits backwards. Fucking who was the dude who bit the head off a fucking bat on live on stage? They
Ozzy
drank blood.
Osbourne.
They did fake sacrifices. They had motherfuckers performing on in pentagons. This shit not new. They've been doing this shit forever. You had the people on the other side of the aisle, people from Motown and shit, were pedophiles, and they were doing trafficking of young minors when they were fucking marrying them and whatnot. This is nothing new at all.
Exactly. I mean, the great late Michael Jackson, somewhere in Europe, and while he's on stage singing, and there's a few people are passing out, he's frozen, staring at those people passing out. What can he do?
I brought that up.
You understand what I'm?
I brought that up in another room. I'm like, shit, Mike, it was ambulance people faint, passing out, exhaustion. And Mike was just standing there looking, literally, for 10 minutes.
You understand what I'm saying? So you have.
I mean, but let's not remember Johnny Taylor. He kicked that lady in his face, in her face for touching his shoes. Oh, that's just a little too far back.
Like this is 2021, right? What artist do you know who's gonna pick a fight with the audience member about a damn shoe? Tell me that it's the most ignorant shit that you ever seen in your life. That's what I'm saying. These kids are falling in love with a bunch of ignorant artists that's doing ignorant shit, and it's like it's a bad energy that goes on and on and on.
When you say it
You
like
understand what I'm
that,
saying? These guys are making millions of dollars to fight with an audience about a goddamn shoe.
when you say it like that, you kind of make you right. Because I'm like, damn, wait, the way you said it, it's like, oh,
Yeah, it is true. Sometimes, because I'm an artist myself, and I get frustrated because, like, I graduated from Yale University, and I have a lot of education, and sometimes I look at, like, the artists who get propped up, and I get frustrated because I'm like, man, they can't even speak in an interview, and the way they act, and they get paid to act ignorant, and it's frustrating for me because I'm like a smart person, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I'm relatable, like, and I try to carry myself with a level of respect, and people look over me because of that, and it's frustrating because I'm also a teacher by day. Like, I teach first grade, and so I think about the kids a lot, and I think about, like, what kind of example I want to have for children, especially knowing that my biggest influencers were people I was looking at when I was in elementary school. Alicia Keys, Mariah Carey. Like, these are the artists I was looking at when I was very young. So I always think about that when I put out content. There's something in me that just won't let me go too far left because I know a child is going to watch this. So it's just, like, really frustrating, but it just feels like the industry is purposefully propping up people who are willfully ignorant, and we keep feeding into it and buying into it. And I'm tired of it. Like, I mean, I'm a singer. I'm not gonna stop singing, because I know God put me on this earth to do that. But I do be feeling like, I might have, like, I feel like my audience is gonna grow after I die, because I just feel like that's the type of impact it would have to have for any of my stuff to go viral, because I'm not ignorant.
I feel you, sis. I think another part of the solution is, like, humanizing these people. Like, there are some talented, shitty people out there, just like day-to-day life. Like, there's probably somebody who's very talented but still a screwed up person. You can acknowledge, hey, this person's talented, but that doesn't supersede their humanity. I think a lot of times that part of the problem is these people don't look at these people as human beings.
Okay,
and it
guys,
works
what
both
you're
ways. So
listening
yes, you can
to
have mercy and be
is
understanding, but at
Launching
the
with
same time, this
Larry,
person is not
and
above
they are
ridicule. They're not
discussing
above
the
criticism. Their
9-year-old
valid isn't
child
more valid than
whose
yours just
organs were
because of their
completely crushed
industry work or
at
whatever. Like, their
Astro
view or their
World
perspective that doesn't give them any type
during
of. At
the
the end of the day,
Travis
we're all dependent upon
Scott
food, air, and water.
concert.
We all bleed blood, red
I
blood. We
just
all
came
sweat and
across
all of
this
those things. So we
content,
need to
and I find
keep that
this
in mind. You can
conversation
appreciate someone's
very
talent and their
interesting,
gift because
and I
it
wanted to
is a
share
beautiful
it with
gift.
you
And some of these
guys.
people are actually
I caught it
really
in the
seriously
middle,
talented.
but when I
They're not
first
just
caught
gimmicks.
it,
And so it's nothing
they
wrong with
spoke
acknowledging that
on
because that is
the
something God gifted.
demonic
But at the same time, they are still a human
element
being. Like,
that was
just keep that in
displayed at
mind.
this concert. And so let's listen in.
And this is not about one person. This is a team. There's a team of people that put this concert together, from the rapper to the person that cleaned up the stadium. Okay, and there's a team. The team got to eat, and whatever it takes, whatever sacrifice that it takes, the team have to eat. And what happened is, this is my point about this whole concert. This concert was very, very poorly organized. They were on some nigga shit. Okay, they didn't have enough security. They didn't have enough meds people there. You know what I'm saying? Like when an artist like Jay-Z perform, the whole hospital is there.
That's a fact.
Did y'all hear me? When
Run
Jay-Z's
that back.
performing somewhere, the whole hospital staff is there.
That's a fact, bro.
Okay, so these little nigga right here, yeah, he got money, but people
Again,
they
this
so
is on
desperate to
Clubhouse.
get some money, they forgot about safety first.
But did they forget, or was it willful?
Are you hearing what I'm
believe it
saying to
was
you?
willful.
I've been in the game for a minute. I've seen it all.
No,
Say it one more time for everybody in the back. I ain't hear.
Well, go ahead. Repeat what I just said, brother, because they're not hearing me right now.
No, listen, we heard you, but my point is, I don't think they forgot. I think it was on purpose.
They just
No,
getting
I'll
tired.
be
the word
honest,
called
Clip.
greed.
Look,
It's all
I
about the
understand
money.
what you're saying, brother.
Okay?
It
It's
is
all
about the
the
money.
money.
You're right. But at the same time, it is demonic. Okay? Pay attention. Stay woke. Close your two eyes that's on you and open that one in the middle.
And they
Don't
half
I
be
that.
totally
fooled.
agree. There
Don't
was
be
a
fooled. There was a
demonic
portal that
element
opened
to
up.
this concert.
And most things are half-assed in the industry these days. Like, if you follow, I follow Frank Gasson, and he talks about it all the time. The precision, like, they just half-ass most things. There's no artist development. People don't really be intentional and tie up their loose ends when they're putting on productions these days as they used to, because these people are just kind of getting famous off of the internet and stuff like that. They're not going through all of the other training, like Carly herself mentioned. So most things are half-assed these days in the industry. It's not how it used to be at all.
Half-assed, but don't make a half-assed excuse for some
When they let other
bullshit.
people do it.
No, I
Okay?
agree.
Look
No,
what's happening.
I agree
Don't make
with
a half-assed excuse for some bullshit. I'm gonna call bullshit out when I see it. I did a whole room yesterday. A lot of y'all was in that room, and y'all know it was said. Some of y'all didn't get no fucking sleep, just like me, because we was deep in there, and we was deep. I'm talking about shit. We was real deep up in there. But all I'm gonna say today is, I hope all of y'all prosper in whatever y'all got going on personally. I want to tell y'all that I love y'all and that I care for y'all. And if y'all have anything going on mental health wise, or you feel lonely, you feel like, damn, bro, ain't nobody gonna understand what I'm saying. Ain't nobody gonna understand. Just tap in with me. I'm gonna listen to you, and I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with y'all, so just tap in. As far as this Travis Scott shit, don't let this fame shit fool you. Don't let Hollywood fool you. Don't just think, oh, they just stepped on some kids and oh, that's just what it was. Nah, they planned. Y'all hear about 9/11? Oh yeah, they planned that too. But yeah, that's what I'm
The
saying.
world is
I'm
the
gonna let the
stage.
floor get up.
The world is the stage. We are watching a reality show right in front of us. The world
Yep.
is a stage. Everybody playing a character. Okay? Just remember that. There's a lot of questions but no answers. And when you keep deep in the dig, you will find the answer. But like I said something very important earlier, and I hope people get it. If you have children, get to know who your children idolize, because most likely they will idolize a demon.
Nah, speak for yourself, brother. Speak for yourself.
I know. Let me. Please, you can disagree with me, but don't argue with me. All right.
I'm just saying, speak for yourself.
All
It's
I'm
not
saying
everybody's
is some
kids
artists.
going.
Right. There's some artists out there. They do not give out positive music. Okay. their music are very demonic. Okay, and just because of that, if your music is demonic, you must be a demon.
Yeah, and it's not just,
Okay,
the
so
outward demonic stuff. It's also like the music is training our young girls to become prostitutes.
Yeah,
there's
like
that.
you
And who do you
got
think?
act.
Yeah, who do you think that create that? You know what I'm
But
saying?
if
Where
she
did
got
that
the
come
right
from?
mother in the household, that shit ain't gonna fucking hurt.
No, but you know how many
That's
people
not
like to
true.
be rebellious.
And I'm
People
gonna
are
say that again.
rebellious.
No, no, no,
Even
no,
if
no,
they
no, no, no.
have
No, no, no,
even
no,
if
no.
they
When I
have
say
good
the right mother,
parents.
I mean the right mother.
Even
No.
more
Okay.
so, the
I'm
right
saying
No,
you
that's
can
not
father
do
and
true.
There's
the
no
right
you can do
guarantee.
Absolutely
everything
the
right
right
as a
father. If you
parent.
got the right mother and the right father, you're gonna be a good. You're gonna be good.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah, but the
Um,
point
guarantees in
is
this
no,
that
life
that's
the
not
though.
music
true.
is
Everything starts at the
literally
core. Whereas when I say
our
the core, I
music
mean home. What you
music
allow in the
American music
house
has never
One,
is what
one
you're
the
gonna
way
mic,
that
allow
one
it
when they
is
mic,
leave the
one
house.
going
mic,
right now,
mic.
the way that American music is going right now, in our history, it has never gone so in depth and so purposefully taught young children how to be prostitutes. And there's, I'm not looking down on women who sell their bodies, but it is just very frustrating that there's no alternative in the music industry for women, young girls to look up to. The profession that they're
So what do you
seeing,
think about Alicia
Actually, there
Keys?
is.
What do you think about
but
Rhapsody?
she's not
What do
okay.
you think
No, but
about?
you have
Hold
to.
on, I could go in right
Can
now.
you
Don't
let
do
me
that with us.
finish?
I know
Let
that.
me finish because they are not being propped up by the industry. They're not getting they're Alicia is funding everything herself right now. They are not getting the money
She's in the music
of the
industry.
music industry. No, listen, I know Alicia. I mean, I don't know her personally, but I'm very
She's
tuned in
talking
with her
about popular
team.
music.
Yes, I'm talking
Are
about
you
who is
shitting me?
funding. Wait, can you please stop
All right, I'm
disrespecting?
ending it
I'm
right
trying to
there.
talk. And please understand, I'm an artist myself. I am in tune with who is putting money behind her projects, who is funding her projects, who's promoting her projects. Everything right now Alicia is doing is self promoted. She has the money to do that for herself. And if you're already her fan, you will find that. But the people who are being promoted to our youth are not the Alicia Keys that I saw when I was growing up. And I also support all types of artistry. I support these young, female rappers and the singers, that are open about their sexuality. I support that. However, I think it's a problem that the most prevalent examples that you see of women in the music industry right now is of prostitution. And then it's like the people that are putting money behind these artists are not black, first of all, and the artists are largely black,
This is Fresh Source
and they are
TV, and
picking and
we
choosing
are
who they
listening
want
to a
our kids' role models to
conversation
be, because
about
unfortunately, at the
the
end of the day,
Travis Scott
that's who these
concert
people
and the
become. That's who
young
celebrities become.
child whose
Even,
organs were
as
completely
good parents
crushed
that we try to
at
be, we
Astroworld.
steer our kids correctly, but when
And
they go to school, it's a groupthink thing.
we are
It
in
is
the room
groupthink. Like,
lounging
they're a
with
bunch of
Larry
kids.
on
Whatever
Clubhouse.
the majority of the kids are looking at, that's what everyone's going to be looking at. So this is what the people with the money, this is what they are choosing to be the most prevalent visuals that our children see. And I think it's extremely problematic. I think it's a problem, and I think that we have to do something about it. Like, we can't just keep letting it happen. Like, you guys, how much worse does it have to get? Seriously.
Yeah, I was gonna
How
say
much
like
worse?
even what Clip was saying. No, sorry, I was just gonna say even if you don't have children, look out for children in your community. Like I don't have children, but I have nieces and nephews, and when I see my nephew liking certain female rap artists, I text my sister like, he's liking this picture, of her. Like I just watch out for all of the children in your community, even if you're not a parent, because ain't no guarantees in this life. You could be the best parent in the world, you could be the best grandparent, you can have to give your child the best everything. Ain't no guarantees in this life. And when they go out into this world, like Ashley was saying, she want to put her children in a bubble. I was telling Ashley, I feel bad for wanting to be a mother, for wanting to bring somebody into this world, because ain't no guarantees. You don't know what they gonna get into, what they gonna run into in this world. So we just need to look out for the children in general. Don't take nothing for granted. Even if you are a great parent, don't take it for granted that that's gonna be sufficient in this world.
Yes, like my first year teaching, I was teaching 6th grade. And that song, I forgot what it's called, it's by Future. And he's just chanting Molly Percocet, Molly Percocet. And I have students in 6th, 7th grade walking down the hall. They don't know what the hell they're talking about, but they're chanting Molly Percocet. And I'm stopping them like, don't sing that. And they're looking at me like I'm trying to hurt them. Like I don't want to look and be cool. And it's very frustrating because I'm like, you don't even know what you're singing about, but you are growing already. You're growing an affinity towards drugs that have the potential to kill you and take you out of here. This is a problem.
The generation is totally different. You know, I'm a 70s baby, so it's totally different. I've seen the transition go. We no longer have a village. We no longer have people looking out for other people's children. We now have these parents that want to be best friends with their children. The whole world is going to hell in a handbasket if we don't get control over it. You get what I'm saying? I look, and like I said, I look at everything that's going on, and
To
I'm
my
just like,
subscribers, if you
where did we
haven't
lose it?
downloaded the
I just really
Clubhouse
don't
app,
understand. Where did it all go
I
wrong?
suggest you do.
You got the
When you
kids telling the
download the
parents what to do.
Clubhouse app, you can go in and create a room.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
honestly, I think
And
we don't have power. Like, we lack power.
in your room,
We
you
are
can
struggling. Most of us
have
are living
discussions
paycheck to
on any
paycheck.
topic that you
You know, we
like.
are so focused on
And
making enough money to
there's no
cover our
time
bills,
limit
to give our
here.
kids a fighting
It's a
chance,
very good
to give
app.
ourselves a fighting
And
chance.
I
That
suggest
what
that
these
you
billionaires are doing
follow
is going straight over our
Lounging
heads.
with
They are
Larry.
so many
He
steps
has very good
ahead of
content
us. We can't
in
even
his
keep up.
rooms.
Like we have to stop this. It's a train. It's moving. It's not stopping. But this is just an example to me. We have to do something. Like we cannot allow this to continue, because it's just going to keep getting worse. Every single statement I see, people are saying, I'm praying, and I'm like, no, you're not. You are not praying. You are typing a statement. You are not praying. I know you're not praying. And that also pisses me off, because y'all are playing with our spirituality.
I agree with that.
Because we're we supposed to care that you're praying? So are we supposed to rely on your prayers? And I know damn well they're not praying.
Larry, I'm so glad that they gave you back your Clubhouse because this is one thing you've been consistent with, having these conversations that matter, even if the topic might seem like it's on some surface stuff. When you get into it, the conversation always matters. So I am so glad that they gave you back your rightfully gave you back your Clubhouse, your account, and your club. And thank you for this room, because it does weigh heavy on my heart, seeing all the things that everyone's talking about, how they promoting this thought culture to our young girls, the thug culture to our young boys. It really does, it weighs heavy on me. I don't even know how our elders made it 80, 90 years in this society without losing.
Can I say something? I heard somebody say, what can we do? What's the solution? Well, how about we unlearn to relearn? Just think about that. Unlearn.
That's good.
To relearn.
That's good.
If we know a lot of things.
And I think where he's going with that is that we've learned a lot of things wrong.
So we know we
need to be retrained.
If the education that was provided to you was bullshit.
Exactly.
You need to go back and re-educate yourself.
I agree.
We need to unlearn to relearn, because there's a system that's designed specifically for you to be confused. There's a system that's designed for you to fail. How are you supposed to survive in the system that's specifically designed for you to fail? We know his story, but we don't know history. There's a big difference between his story and history. We need to unlearn to relearn.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree.
A quick reset. 9-year-old Oregon's completely crushed at Astroworld. Is currently fighting for his life. Him amongst other victims are sadly coming to light on what's happened to them. It's been said that his dad had him on his neck, but the dad passed out, and then the son was stampeded. So that's where we at. I'm done speaking.
Mary, I know you asked this question earlier, but I can't help but wonder, would that be considered child endangerment by any
Trying to figure
means?
out.
Yes, it is child endangerment to bring a 1-year-old, any child to this concert that is under the age of like 18. They shouldn't be at this concert, especially with that many people. Like, if you look at the clips of security checks, the security themselves are beating the shit out of some of these kids in line. You can literally go on Twitter and see all the videos from the front to the back of the house. These kids should not have been there in the first place. And some of these kids were the kids who were busting down the gates. They were busting down the gates and running into the crowd. Like, it's definitely child endangerment if you're bringing a child that's so small that you literally have to carry the child or hold the child in the middle of the venue. That's not the venue's fault. That's not the police fault. Well, it is the police fault. But initially, you're looking at your kid like, yeah, we going to a Travis Scott concert. That shit don't make no fucking sense. That 0 sense.
Travis, I'm gonna jump on behind you, because if you can't get a babysitter, then you don't need to go to the concert.
Facts.
Because like I say, I live in Houston, and if anybody's familiar with Trader Truth used to have Trade Day here in Houston, and both times people were killed at this event. It's in this big open area. There's no control. People are, I mean, it's crazy. I went because we helped he did like a backpack drive. Like, he was giving away school supplies, because he does it in the summertime, like close to when it's about time for the children to go back to school. So I went out there. I didn't take my children with me because they didn't need to go. Because, I know they was going to be out there smoking weed and all types of stuff. So I didn't take my children. I made the best judgment call. But my kids didn't want to go anyway. They don't like Trader Joe's. But anyway, the melee that escalated, all it takes is one person, and it's like a domino effect. And that's basically how they've described this Travis Scott concert. But again, like I told people, this started prior to the concert even starting. You see them pulling gates down. You see security at the gate fighting kids. You see other kids that were pulling other kids down to get in the gate. Do I feel like the city of Houston failed these people that passed away? Absolutely. Because when you had this conversation with Travis Scott in regards to the safety concerns, you should have made a better judgment call. So yes, Houston Police Department, I'm holding you accountable for this. I'm absolutely going to hold you accountable, because you should have made a judgment call. The chief of police is a father. Why didn't your parent instincts kick in? That's question number one. That, let me say that. Because as a parent, that's going to be my first instinct. If I have a concern, we need to address the concern. Hold up, y'all. Wait. Hold up. We're going to be expecting too many people. We need to do this. One of the guys that lives in my apartment works for Sugarland Police Department. He was like, man, I would have went out there if they would have called. You get what I'm saying? You didn't do enough. Live Nation, you didn't do enough. Paradox, y'all didn't do enough. Travis Scott, you could have controlled the crowd. There were moments of silence where you could have said, hey, hold up, let's stop the music. You could have done that. So do I solely blame him? No. But you're part of it. You get what I'm saying? You have some sort of responsibility. This is your 3rd year doing this in Houston. But like I say, listening to the way my daughter described it, it was like millions of people. She was like, it was so much. She didn't use the word pandemonium, but I'm going to use the word. She said, all I remember was just being snatched, and I hid behind a porta potty. That's devastating for an 18-year-old child. And for your friend that was with you, you watched her get trampled on. And now this young lady is fighting for her life. So everybody dropped the ball. We're not going to just point and say one. Everybody involved dropped the ball.
But you know what? I don't think it's dropping the ball. I think it was on purpose.
I'm not going to even go down that rabbit hole. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because that's not the topic of the room. Like I say, I'm not going to chase down those. I'm just going to leave my personal opinions to myself, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's the politics. But they did drop the ball, though.
Absolutely. So they failed. Not only did you fail the concert goers, you failed the people that lost their lives. You failed the people that are fighting for their lives, because there's several people that are in the hospital, 2 of which are fighting for their lives. You get what I'm saying? They did confirm that people were being stuck with hypodermic needles out there. They confirmed that on the news here in Houston.
So so did people come out and say, yes, I was stuck? Or was it just reports?
Let me say alleged.
The way that it came across was like they were trying to cover,
Right. So let me back up and let me say allegedly, okay? But it was on the news. They spoke on it, because I want you guys Thursday night tune into ABC 13. You could pull it. They're gonna do a town hall where they're gonna talk about the concert, and that will give you all the information. Like I say, the Houston Fire Department said we didn't get the calls until it was too late. It was like a herd of cattle. Like where it was at, it was like herding cattle into a pasture that's blocked off. The gates that they had were cheap. You got, like I say, you can pull it up and you'll see them pulling the gates down and everything. So I say that to say, everybody failed. Everybody. They failed. They dropped the ball. But let this be a lesson learned. And I hope they take heed from this. The next event that's like this, I hope they take heed to this. Let's beef up security. Let's make sure that you are able to control the amount of people, because they oversold tickets.
Well, they didn't just oversell tickets, but he actively was telling his fans, and he's done this for years, he tells fans how to get into the venue without purchasing a ticket. Like every time they sell out, he immediately gets on Twitter and starts giving instructions on how to get into the show if you don't have tickets.
And that's why I say, if you pull up the videos, you'll see them. When they stormed the gates, they bombarded the gates. They were pulling the gates down. They were jumping the fence. People were fighting. I think my daughter said it was like 3 or 4 fights out there, way before Travis Scott even came to the stage.
They almost knocked over a horse.
Right. What incited it was the countdown to Travis Scott coming to the stage, because they had other artists that were performing. Earth, Wind, and Fire was there, from what I heard. I don't know. But they had other people were performing at the concert leading up to it.
Also too, but listen, check this out. If this concert is for kids 18 and up, right? Why is it a parent going to bring a 9-year-old child into a concert that requires 18 and up?
But Clip, so Astroworld was one of the biggest amusement parks in Houston. You had Ashworld and you had Waterworld, and it's like Six Flags only. So if anybody's been to Six Flags, then you're familiar. So it was a kids thing, something with the Fortnite. Like I say, I don't know because I don't get into Travis Scott like that. That's not the type of music I listen to. Now you give me some Pac or some NWA, baby, we can talk. Some Biggie, some Nas, we can do all that. But this new age stuff, nah, baby, my patience just can't. I can't deal with all of that. No, it's just too much for me. But it was really more like a kids event, celebrating Astroworld. Like I say, it was a big amusement park here in Houston. So it was, Astroworld was for kids of all ages. It was for everybody, big, small, short, fat, tall, skinny, whatever, So I think that's the theme, why he utilized Astroworld. Hey, this is a kid-friendly event, but no one took into consideration. We've been locked up for how long, y'all? Almost 2 years because of this pandemic. My daughter said they didn't even check her temperature at the gate. They just let her in. They don't know if she had COVID or anything.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like some of it, I guess it was y'all are calling it
but one
a rabbit hole.
This wasn't
it was
a
a purposeful.
I know about the whole Astroworld stuff. I get that. This wasn't a kid's show. This was an artist who's 30-some years old, okay, and he's having a concert. He's using the Astroworld as a backdrop. You understand what I'm saying? But he never said this was a kid's show.
Oh, well, I know he's never said a kid's show, but when you think of the theme Astroworld, amusement
I get
park,
that. I get that. But
so
that's what I'm saying. People don't look into details of things. You understand what I'm saying?
But
like,
his fans
if I have
are kids,
it's common sense too. If I have a 9-year-old daughter, which I do have a 9-year-old daughter, there's no way I was gonna, or even take her to a concert like that, especially with this dude.
But we know that for you, but you have some parents who's 9 and 8-year-old who love Travis Scott. So they were thinking, you know what, I'm going to take my son or my daughter, we haven't been out at XY. That was their train of thought.
Honestly, I feel like the event wasn't for younger kids, but if they did come, I feel like you should have been on point as a parent to know, okay, it's too much going on. Let me and my kid, let's go before any of everything start. You get what I mean?
But Ari, they did say that. See, nobody's mentioning that. They did want them to leave before, I think it was before 7:30.
Before 7:30, yeah.
Yeah, before 7:30. They did tell them that. It was up to the parents to make like I said, it was so many dropped judgment calls. They told y'all, if you had a child, I think they said if the child was under the age of 13 or 14 or something, they wanted them to leave. But then that comes, like I say, who the responsibility falls on who? You got hundreds of thousands of people out there. Not enough security, even though they said it was enough manpower out there, it really was not.
Shout out to Holly Larry for doing this
who does the responsibility
conversation on the 9-year-old
or the people that are throwing the event,
whose organs were crushed at Astroworld doing the Travis Scott concert. Very, very interesting conversation, guys. Again, I suggest if you haven't downloaded the Clubhouse app, go ahead and do so. To all my subscribers, I suggest that you download the Clubhouse app. It's another social media outlet where we can go and have conversations, creating a room and discussing the issues that matters to us.
Because we have to stop pointing the fingers and start holding people accountable for this. The parents should, like I said, it was so many failed judgment calls in all of this. First off, as a parent, like I said, you shouldn't have been bringing your child out there to a concert like that anyway. When my daughter and my son, because they're 18 and 20, they wanted to go see, what's the little boys, the Black Beatles, what's the little boys' name?
Sway Lee.
There you go. They wanted to go to the
concert.
No,
what's it? Smurder. What's the name?
Somebody.
Yes.
Okay. So at the time that they
Okay, guys, I've gone. We've listened in for 39 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead on and stop the recording. But if you want to continue to go ahead on and listen to this conversation, download the Clubhouse app and follow Lounging with Larry. He has a good club room.
I don't feel like children under the age of 18 should have been there.
Again, shout out to Lounging with Larry on Clubhouse. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, but it's like what we've been talking about. It's not just kids that idolize these